All right, so now we're starting 7.5 equations in slope. So we have an equation, and the directions say find the slope of this equation. Now remember that when we found slope, we used an x and a y, or 2 points, to find it. So we're going to take this equation, and we're actually going to find 2 points. So let's make a t-chart. Okay, and I'm going to see what happens if x is 0 and if x is 1. Okay, so now let's substitute. Remember that if x is 0, we get 0 plus 3, which is 3. And now let's see what happens when x is 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5. So now I have 2 points. This is my x1, and this is my y1, and this is my x2, and this is my, my y2. And now we use our equation. Slope is y sub 2 minus y sub 1, x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So y sub 2 is 5, y1 is 3, x2, 1, and x1 was 0. So now 5 minus 3 gives me 2. 1 minus 0 gives me 1. So my slope is 2. If you look back at the equation, you'll see that this is the same as the slope, and that's because it is the slope. We use the slope-intercept equation. So what you're looking at is y equals mx plus b. M is the slope. Y is the y-intercept, where it crosses over the y. So using that information, we can graph. So if we're looking here, it says solve for y and find our slope. So in order for us to be able to tell the slope, we have to get y all by itself. So we're going to draw our mirror. We want to get rid of the 4x and the 5. So this is solving equations. So we're going to opposite operations. Remember, candy, corn, and Smarties. This is 4x minus 4x. That gives us our 0. Bring down our 5y. Bring down our equals. This is a 4x, and this is a 7 with no x. They're candy, corn, and Smarties. I'm going to put the x first because that's how the equation has it up here. mx plus b. So I'm trying to stay in that format. Last thing, it's 5 times y. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we get y equals negative 4 over 5x plus 7 over 5. It's fractions, but it's not a big deal. The slope is what's right in front of the x. So our slope is negative 4/5. So slope is negative 4 over 5. Let's try a couple more. So we're going to do solving for y, and we want to know the slope and the y-intercept. So let's solve for y first. Remember, this is our mirror. And now we're going to get the y by itself. So we have that y equals mx plus b. We do addition subtraction first. It's a positive 3x, so we subtract 3x from both sides. Opposite operations. This becomes our 0 like we expected it to. Bring down your 8y. Try to keep your x first and your number second. Just like the equation, y equals mx plus b. I can't add the 3x and the 9 because they're candy, corn, and Smarties. They don't match. Opposite operations, this is multiplication, so we divide. And on this side, 8 divided by 8 is 1. Y equals negative 3x over 8 plus 9 over 8. And again, it's fractions, but we don't care. We just want to know what our slope is and our y-intercept. M is our slope, the number in front of the x. The b is our intercept. So our slope in this case is negative 3 over 8, right there in front of the x. And our y-intercept is 9 over 8. So now let's graph using the y-intercept and the slope. So our equation is y equals 3x minus 4. So we know it's going to cross the y. Remember, this is our y-axis. We know it's going to cross the y at -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We know our slope is a +3. So you might want to do, anytime you want, you can put that 1 underneath. So you might want to put the 1 underneath so that then you can say rise over run. Rise is up 3 over 1. They're both positive. 1, 2, 3 over 1. I now have 2 points. And I have graphed using the y-intercept and the slope. Let's try that again. This time, we have the y-intercept is a +4, means it crosses at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has a negative slope, so rise over run. I usually go up for my negative and left. So I'm going to go up 1, rise on top, up 1 over 1, 2, 3, because then I realize I'm going in the negative direction. That's why I always go up and then to the left when it's a negative slope, because that'll help me remember because I'm moving towards the negative side. So again, you can graph just using your y-intercept and your slope.